flex my diamonds and my pearls.
Hi everyone, welcome to Ayaba Collective. This is a branding association with with Ayaba Collection. It's a brand that really believes in the internal value, internal royalty of women and girls. So this channel is targeted towards girls, but honestly we're going to have discussions, advice to help each other out and really just learn from each other and grow and develop or whatever. Do you know what I mean? My name is Jola, or some people call me Jola. Like, it just depends on how you know me or whatever. If you want to say it the proper Nigerian way, it's not by
my
force,
God,
but what you got to do.
this whole time.
You've been saying it's wrong this whole time, that you really have. If you guys want to introduce yourselves as well.
Okay, hi, I'm Ebony.
Hi guys, my name's Maria.
About today, guys, is insecurities, and I'm sure all of us have dealt through an insecurity at some point in our lives. So I just wanted to throw out the first question as to, like, what do you guys think an insecurity is, and have you ever had one?
I feel like there's so many different definitions for what an insecurity could be, and that you feel like you don't have as much confidence as you could in it, whether it's your personality or your looks or your hair or your leg or something.
Exactly.
And like it feels sort of like comparisons and stuff like that.
Within this video, we're gonna hone in on physical insecurities, and because there's so many insecurities, like you said. It could be like financial, it could be with your job, work-based, anything. So but I think a big insecurity within our generation now, I would say, is through like physical appearance, how we look. And so I'll just ask Maria, have you ever had any insecurities, and if you feel open to sharing them?
I don't feel like there's one way that people get to a point where they start to feel insecure about a certain part of their like physical appearance. I think there's a lot of attributes that contribute to people feeling insecure, whether it's like family, home, schools, society, the lack of representation. It's a lot. Like for me, like anyone that knows me and is close to me knows that I've like suffered from insecurity, because personally, for me, I'm not exactly society's standard of beauty. I've got very I don't really have Eurocentric features. I'm quite on the darker skin spectrum.
Beautiful dark skin though. Come on.
Beautiful. Dark is the berry.
Like, you know, and my insecurity over time has changed as well, because for example, me being slim, right, growing up, that's all that was portrayed in the media. It was slim girls, you know, it was it, like, to be slim was it.
That's right.
And I can't imagine, but obviously not as a plus size or a bigger woman, but I can definitely sympathize with them, because now it's the other way around, I would say, in society, because now it's, you know, women that are more curvy, women that have a bit more meat on their bone, they're more appreciated, or not more appreciated, but like that's what the standard of
almost
beauty
trendy,
is right now.
Is
right now. But when I was growing up, the standard of beauty was with girls that looked like me. However, I didn't really feel secure in that because I grew up in a household and I grew up in a culture, being African Congolese, where being bigger is what is considered beautiful.
That's right.
So there was a conflict in that. Do you get what I'm saying? Because society is telling you that, like, you know, you're slim, like this is what it is, you know, to be slim, like you should be happy. But then when you go into your environment and you're like super skinny, everyone seems to comment on your weight. And you just get confused because you don't know, okay, so what is acceptable for me?
It can change based on where you are, can't it? changed it based on who you're surrounded by, your
Yeah.
friendships.
Yeah.
So,
So it doesn't matter, like for me it didn't matter at what point I got in terms of my weight. I was still insecure somewhere because like you said, depending on what environment you're in,
right,
like someone's always making you feel insecure about the way that you look.
My nan, when she was growing up, she was like fair skin and really like stick thin, and obviously she grew up in Ghana, and you know, in that culture it's like you don't want to be skinny, you don't want to be, so she had a similar experience to you. Like she was really petite and she used to get bullied for it, and also because she was light skinned there, they used to bully her and stuff. So
isn't that so odd that like
it's
she is in a place, it's the opposite, so you come to a place like maybe the UK or America and light skinned is like the trend, it's like where do you know what I mean, like that's where it's at. And even a couple of years ago skin bleaching was so huge then, and people wanted to be lighter, but it's so interesting what you're saying, that you know, you can be in one place and one part of society and you're deemed as acceptable, and then you can be in another part and you're deemed as, oh my gosh, like you need to change. What would you say, Ebony, about your personal insecurities, and where would you say they rooted from as well, if they had a root in anything?
I would I have to phrase it, but I think when you grow up, well, I went to a school that was like mainly white kids, and so when you're just different from your friends, I was really insecure about my hair when I was like in like primary school, because they would just be like touching it and just like get off. And I just was like, I just wanted flowy, like blows in the wind hair. And I used to like say to my mom, like, please can you straighten it, and she never would let me. And I think that was one. And then my gap in my teeth. I don't care now.
So beautiful in so many cultures.
Yeah, so like
do you know how
Ghana,
popular that became in the modeling industry? Like having a gap in your teeth was like, oh my god, so unique.
Yeah, but like I feel like, you know, that advert, I think it was a model for like Rimmel or something, and everyone was just roasting it because the gap was quite big. But so when you see stuff like that, it's like, oh, do people not like it? Or I think a lot of girls I know anyway, including myself, like body issues here and there. But yeah, that's probably mainly mine.
From what I'm gathering from what we're all sharing, I think a lot of our insecurities come from external things that we see maybe, and sometimes, like you said, Maria, earlier, right, representation. Like if you see things and that can almost reflect on your personal identity, and you think, okay, where do I fit in a society that doesn't actually cater to me and doesn't recognize me? Whether it's on TV, models, it's only now recently that like dark skin models have become like this big trend that everyone wants to see.
It's unfortunate that it's a trend.
On trend.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's a trend, because it's just like, okay, do you just want dark skin models because you think it's a fashion statement, or do you genuinely believe, or have you just relearned all of history that before you didn't like them? Like, is it just a throwaway kind of situation, which I think is quite problematic?
So problematic. My personal one when growing up was definitely my forehead.
Really?
Honestly, like, girl, I remember when we was in secondary school, and we were doing this like comparison of foreheads, and when people you would say like, okay, like my hand fits my forehead like to this amount, and then you would like, do you know what I mean, you're basically weighing your forehead against your hand, and mine literally, like, I just thought it surpassed everyone's, and everyone noticed that, and I felt a bit like, oh god.
You know what, kids are
Jola used to wear
horrible.
this big massive like
That's right,
fringe
Maria. No.
swooped like her whole forehead. Like
Every
this.
day.
She wore it
I
for
risked
years.
spots on my forehead, yeah, putting gel everywhere just to cover this big forehead.
Really?
Yes, literally. It was such a big insecurity of mine. You know, my brother would tease me about it, but you know, when family tease you, it's in love, and it's like, it's not like they're saying you're
Sometimes.
ugly, but also it can trigger something because you're like, oh, that's a bit,
Yeah.
you
But
know,
when do you
that's,
feel like it's like it's accept? I don't know. When do you feel like it's, in terms of age, it's acceptable to kind of tease people about their insecurity? Because I feel like when they're young, it's kind of a dangerous field to be teasing, and for
Yeah.
you
so
to
dangerous.
expect a child to have thick skin, because
Oh,
like you said, they're
yeah.
coming into their character and they're developing so much, and like at that age you can't really teach a child or someone that is a teenager or mid, what is the in between teenager and
Adolescent?
child, whatever that age
Preteen.
is, yeah,
Yeah.
where
Preteen?
they're most insecure, to kind of like joke about their insecurity, but to also be confident in their insecurity, like,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
expect kids to just be like, oh, it's a joke, it's not that serious. Where one goes through a certain stage in life where, okay, is that serious, is that big of a deal,
That's
like this thing
right.
that you're joking about?
It's just, it shows real immaturity in your character if you're picking at people's appearance, and I feel like it's projection of your own
Mhm.
insecurities.
I think that people are now like starting to create spaces where it's like, okay, hi dark skinned black girl, it's safe to be dark skinned, or hi black girl with a big forehead, it's safe to be a black girl with a big forehead. Like it's normal,
Right.
like they're creating spaces where they're normalizing what should have been normalized from the beginning. I think that insecurity stems from when we're younger, and this is from my personal experience, but from also speaking to people that have similar backgrounds to me, and whether that's them being black, or them being African from an African country, where in their household it's the way that our parents, number one, speak to us when we're younger, and start to point out insecurities in us that we don't even know are insecurities. If you understand what I'm saying, like
That's
when they're
right.
just mad at you and they're shouting at you and they're calling you these names, and then you start to sit on it and you're like, oh my god, am I actually this? Oh my god, is my forehead actually like this? Or oh my god, am I like this? Does my body actually look like this? Or do you get what I'm saying? It's things up there, because I don't think children, I definitely don't believe children are born with insecurities. It's definitely their environment. I feel like for a lot of people, it starts from the house before it goes into schools and society.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, but
that's
I definitely
definitely
feel like
true.
it's something
So
that
true.
it starts from the house, and it's so unfortunate. And then you go into schools and you go into society, and it's even worse. It's even worse. And then, like, for me personally, and Jolie and Ebony, you can probably relate, like, insecurity was like, my insecurities was literally a battle for me. Like, I had to figure it out myself, yeah, how to kind of be content with things that I can't, like, I can personally change in a year, but I choose not to change, number one. But things that just make up my identity, like my physical identity as well, it was a battle that I had to go through. And all those people that have like been in my life and caused and heightened these insecurities for me, to them they didn't realize, or they don't realize the impact that they caused for so many years. Because like I said, I didn't really know that like being skinny was that big of an issue until it got pointed out in the house. I didn't know that colorism, obviously, like being dark skinned, before I was able to identify racism outside of the house, there was colorism inside of my house already, because of my skin tone. And I didn't know that was an issue until other people around me started making the fact that I'm darker skinned an issue. Do you know, I didn't know that having a big nose was an issue, yeah, until again, people in the house would make comments or jokes. Like, so I just feel like insecurity is not something that we're born with, or we even look at ourselves in the mirror from a young age and it's like, oh my God, I'm insecure about this. It literally stems, for a lot of people with a similar background to me, it stems from the house and how our family members speak to us and what they themselves shockingly identify as the standard of beauty. And I feel like they're the ones that instill this insecurity in these kids, and then it just gets worse and worse. Once you step your foot out of your own house in a year, it's nasty out there. Like, you know, people are horrible out there.
And it's like so important to have that like warmth to come home to after you've been out in that horrible like world. Like, you want to come home and sort of have people that are going to build you up rather than tear you down.
Yeah. I really think, you know, because not everyone is going to get that, and that's the harsh reality of this world. Like, not everyone is going to get that person that says you are beautiful, you are amazing, you know, that your nose is good enough, like you being skinny is absolutely fine. Not everyone is going to have someone in their life that is able to say that. That's why you know, I really want to set out a challenge to all of us, like, and to everyone, to just really point out something good about someone. Like, you would be surprised what someone is actually insecure about, that you say, wow, like, that is actually beautiful. Like, also just be open to being non-judgmental and just really listening to people when they speak about their insecurities, because to some people an insecurity might be just like, oh, I've got a dot on my nose, like, but that's something that means so much to them.
And roll their eyes like,
exactly. That's right, exactly. And people just think like, what? Or, oh my gosh, like, you've got one spot on your face and you're insecure. But it's triggered from somewhere. We really just have to be understanding. People say, oh, you know, words don't mean nothing, but words actually are so profound and powerful. Exactly, that can last words can last a lifetime. So we just have to be careful about what we say to people and speak words of empowerment rather than suppressing others.
I spent some time in Spain this year, and I was working at a school, and there was like really little kids, and I was a bit worried before I went out there, like, oh my God, they've probably never seen a black person in their life, like how are they gonna react?
Every black person's worrying.
Like I was like, oh, are they gonna be like funny with me? But these, obviously they were really young, but like, they were the most loving kids that I've ever, well, I haven't really worked with too many kids, but they were so loving. And it just shows how these kind of things, insecurities, like racism, all of that stuff is like, it's taught in the house. Because these kids were like perfect, and there was no kind of, if there was anything, it was kind of like curiosity. It was just like, why are you brown? Just say like, why are you brown? Like, really, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
So guys, what made you like overcome your insecurities then? Have you even overcome your insecurities?
Overcome them. I really started to just be okay with like laughing at myself. Like, it's okay to actually just like to laugh with others, like, oh, my forehead's big. Oh, I agree, girl. My forehead is big. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm gonna own this. You're laughing, I'm gonna own this joke and reclaim this as mine. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is my big forehead and I'm okay with it. So I really just think like it might not work for everyone, but personally for me, like, that's something that I've just learned to just shake it off. Like, really, it's a forehead. And I've learned that I really want to place value not only on my external appearance, but what's on the inside. Like, a person is teasing you or talking down at you, you need to question what they have in their heart and the ugliness that they have in their heart that is actually making them talk down at you, because that in itself is ugly. I think often we place appearance on just outside values, where just placing that worth on building myself internally. It helped me to actually love myself externally, because I would speak goodness unto myself. I would speak like affirmations like, you are good enough, you are beautiful, like it doesn't matter what society says, like you are enough. That conversation of representation, like we all know Rihanna, she has big forehead, she's big forehead gang, okay, she's big forehead gang, I'm not gonna lie. So that kind of gassed me when I realized that Rihanna has a big forehead. I was like, she has a big forehead, I have a big forehead, like we good.
Yeah, the twins.
Yeah.
Seeing that representation definitely helped, and seeing how bold she was, and how like she just didn't care about what anyone else said about her. She was just literally being herself. And I think that's the most important thing to be, is to just be who you are. I can't obviously last a lifetime by basing my security off a celebrity, because belief on themselves may change. Eventually I had to say to myself, like, okay, Rihanna's rocking it, but I have to find that within myself and find that internal value within myself. Whether she's found it or not is amazing, and that's really good for her, but that can only go so far. You need to find that within yourself. Society changes every single day. What's trendy today is not trendy tomorrow, so we can't base it off of society and what they think is good enough, because what is good enough? Like who actually is the one defining that? Is it just people sitting on a computer? Okay, so this is good enough today, guys. Short hair is the trend. Short hair is what we're doing for the rest of our lives. Like everyone chop their hair off. Like, do you know what I mean? Are we going to do that? Like, no, like we have to find it within
exhausting.
ourselves. It's absolutely
oh my god,
it's exhausting.
That is exhausting.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even gonna sit here and say that I still don't have insecurities, or I have like overcome every insecurity that I've had, because that would be a lie. I personally feel like there's a difference between having insecurities and being an insecure person. It got to a point where I was just an insecure person. Like how I felt about my physical appearance was affecting the way I interacted with people. It was affecting like my confidence, my literally everything I would do. My physical appearance, my physical insecurities was affecting this, and I would nitpick. Oh my lord, I would nitpick. And I had a friend, and I don't know why we used to do this, but we'll be on the phone and talk about our insecurities in details, and literally, guys, like cry over it, and just, it was so bad. And it was a phase where I would start from my hair, then my face, then the top part of my body, then the lower part of my body. Like that's how intense it was, in terms of like I would literally nitpick everything, every part of me. I found a way that I can change it in order for me to look better, or like something that will make me feel good about myself. It was emotionally exhausting, because all those crying I was doing, Lord have mercy. And you know, Joe, like I can cry, but all those crying I used to do,
I can cry. You don't know about crying.
all those crying I used to do was so exhausting, and just nitpicking at everything. Like, guys, imagine from your eyebrows, your eyes, you know, it was just so exhausting. And then I remember once I asked myself, because some of the things, I could change without, you know, having a large sum of money, right? Like I could easily go to the hair shop and get myself a bleaching product and start bleaching my skin, you know. And I just asked myself, I was like, okay, so if you feel that bad about it and that heavy about it, then just change it. Then just change it. But I never did. I never changed it, because I feel like at that point, is again where representation came. Like before representation came in, I feel like it was the support of my friends, that, you know, would always, you know, words of affirmation, like, you know, girl, your skin's this, like,
so
makes you who you are. Like hearing that, first of all, when you've never heard that before,
Wow.
makes you feel good, and then representation came into light, and then that makes you feel good as well, because representation is important. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It really is important for people growing up and trying to find who they are. Like, there was people that look like me are being represented in a positive way. I started feeling also positive about myself, and I was like, if I can, there's things that I can change about myself that I'm not willing to change about myself. So therefore, I can't continue to spew hate on myself every single day, because it is exhausting, because there's nothing I'm willing to do about it. That's the problem. Okay, so I'm saying that I hate this one area on my face, on my body, whatever the case is, yeah, but I'm not willing to change it. So where are we going from here? Do you get what I'm saying? We're not going anywhere. We're literally just stuck in a place of hatred, and it's only getting worse and worse and worse. That was one of my main reasons of, like, my main ways of battling my insecurities, is the fact that I wasn't willing to change certain things, although I hated it about myself.
You might not get that person that says you're beautiful in your whole entire lifetime, but I think we need to value ourselves, and we need to say to ourselves, like, you know what, my word about me matters. Do you know what I mean? It's not just that of a person's opinion. Like, if I dress nice and no one says, oh my gosh, you're beautiful, before you leave your house, tell yourself you look good. And that our worth of ourselves and who we say we are should be enough, flat out. Like, it's not oh, that person has said I'm this, that person has said I'm that. Like, who we say we are is good enough. Like, I think often we place such a high value on what other people say about us. It's, like I said, all of this is easier said than done, because how you identify yourself is also based on your own personal insecurities and what you may feel within yourself, and it's not easy to challenge that. Just reshifting our language and, you know, speaking good words upon ourselves, and speaking good words even about our insecurities, saying, you know, like, listen, my forehead is good enough. Like, even if it's as simple as that, my forehead is good enough, my nose is good enough. Like, and I will walk out there and say, you know what, no matter what anyone says to me today, I have said I am enough, and that's okay for me, and that completes me. So yeah,
I love that. That's amazing. Yeah.
What would you say, Eb, about what has helped you to overcome yours?
I'll be completely honest. I've had, like, a really strong foundation growing up, and my mum and dad, they would always give me encouraging words, sort of, and just reassure me that even though these other girls look like this, you're still, like, beautiful to me. And I feel like that's so powerful, because it really has impacted the way that I see myself, the way that I carry myself, the way that I communicate to others. And I understand that not everyone has that, and that's honestly, like, my wish, that parents just push that onto their kids, because it really has, like, such a impact. And I definitely have insecurities, but I feel like with the strong foundation that was instilled into me, it really helped the way that I navigate situations, because it could have been a lot worse, to be honest.
That's right. Yeah, I just wanted to end on, like, advice, and what you would, like, is there any advice that maybe you would give to yourself presently, or to any sisters watching? Like, you know, what would you say to them, like, to help with their insecurities and what they may be going through right now?
Your surrounding is definitely important, and the languages that the people use around you is definitely important. Like, like, identify it. So if you feel like it's not positive, it's not bringing change into your life, it's not making you feel good about yourself, it's making you feel even worse about your insecurities, then don't put yourself in, just change your environment. In that sense, kind of normal to have insecurities, because we all do have insecurities. Like, it's just about not dwelling on your insecurities.
To me, like, my advice to other people would be to just be your own self advocate, like, to be the one that tells yourself that you are valued, you're enough, you know. And what's definitely helped me is affirmations. Like, repeat things. I really believe that it almost becomes a part of you. Like, whether it's good repetitions or bad repetitions, they literally can stay within your soul. Like, they literally become you. You are valued, like you are beautiful. Like, you don't even have to, like, I know people say affirmations, you have to look in the mirror and stuff like that. Even as you're walking, even as you get maybe that personal attack from someone else, like, just walk away saying, I'm good enough, and just shake it off. Like, just shake off whatever that said, and have that ability to say, you know what, my view of myself is more important than what anyone else can say about me.
Understanding that if they're picking on you, it's really just them picking on themselves. And I feel like that awareness really shuts down the whole situation, because if someone's saying something about you, it's clear that they're not fully okay with themselves. So that in itself for me is just like, okay, well, that your opinion doesn't matter.
One of my advice is sometimes just take yourself off the flipping social media. Just take yourself off social media and engage with people that are around you and take in what they're saying and live your life in that moment, because once you go onto social media, it can be such a brutal and cruel environment for no reason as well. And you know what, focus on the things that you do like about yourself. I'm doing this thing with like my siblings as well, where I'll ask them, what are 3 things that you just love about your physical appearance? Like, what is it? And my sister's so confidently was like, I like this, and I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I was her hype man, because I was like, yeah, like, even if it's 3 things, just focus on those 3 things. Like, I hold on to my little 3 things that I like about myself, because I genuinely like them about myself, and there's nothing that anyone can say that will make me feel any other type of way. So there are things that you do like about yourself, and that's what you should focus on as well.
Definitely. I think as well, like, our insecurities to ourselves, to other people, it's just like, oh my god, I wish I had that. It's all, I wish, do you know what I mean? Like, what we find horrible about ourselves, a lot of the time other people are like, oh my god, I love it.
This was a really good discussion, and yeah, guys, thank you so much for being a part of it, both of you.
No worries.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Check out ayabacollection.co.uk as well, and, you know, purchase those items that can make you feel good or whatever.